Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called No Eating at Desks. At my old job, I used to eat lunch at my desk while working. Nothing fancy, just a sandwich while answering emails. Most of us did it because we were really busy and it helped us stay on top of things. Then one day, out of the blue, a manager sent out a company-wide email saying, "No eating at desks, it looks unprofessional." Alright, if that's the rule, that's the rule. So the next day I started taking full lunch breaks. I left the building, grabbed food, sat outside and took time to actually relax. Sometimes I'd go for a walk. Sometimes I wouldn't get back exactly on the hour. After a few days of this, the same manager asked why I was falling a bit behind on my tasks. I simply said, "I'm just not eating at my desk anymore, like you ask." The next story is called Following Instructions. I work in a machine shop, where most of what we produce goes into semi-trucks. Things like suspension and engine components. So naturally, a lot of the parts we handle are big. One day, the plant manager introduced a new system for organizing scrap parts. Instead of using the labeled cards we've always used, we were told to start placing everything into small plastic bins, each about 12 by 12 inches. The issue? Many of the parts we make are way too large for bins that size. I was working on a batch of oil pans at the time and had to scrap 2 of them due to bad castings. Each oil pan is about 16 inches wide and over 4 feet long. But hey, I followed the instructions and put them on one of the bins. Not in, because that wasn't physically possible. Just doing exactly what we were told. The third story is called Drinking Water. I worked security at Fort Lee, Virginia, during another extreme heat wave. One day our lieutenant gave us a new instruction. We weren't allowed to drink water while out in the open, only inside the guardhouse or a side building. Even though we were working outdoors in over 100-degree heat, we weren't supposed to be seen drinking water while checking ID cards. My shift started at 12:45 p.m. About 30 minutes in, a vehicle pulled into my lane with 4 colonels inside. I collected their ID cards and walked over to the guardhouse. While I was there, I took a long drink from my Camelback, definitely needed in that kind of heat. When I returned to the vehicle, the colonel driving asked what that was all about. I explained that we weren't allowed to drink water in plain sight, even with the heat index at 110 degrees. I also let him know I held onto the IDs to make sure the car didn't accidentally proceed through the gate while I was away. About 20 minutes later, the same lieutenant drove around to every gate and told us we were now allowed to drink water while on post. Sometimes all it takes is the right person hearing the full story. The last story is called Tank Maintenance. Back when I was in the army, I served as a tank gunner. For context, here's a quick breakdown of a tank crew. Gunner, my role. You get to fire the main gun and do the least amount of maintenance. Loader loads the shells and handles most of the physical tasks, including cleaning the machine guns. Driver operates the tank and does the most maintenance, especially on the tracks and wheels. Tank commander, TC, oversees the whole crew, usually in meetings on maintenance days, so they do very little hands-on work. In a good crew, everyone works together smoothly. And since we practically lived inside the tank during operations, we got to know each other very well, whether we liked it or not. One time our crew was sent alone to support an infantry exercise in the desert. We were simulating an entire tank company. Except due to budget cuts, it was just us. We arrived Sunday, ran drills Monday through Wednesday, and Thursday was maintenance day. The rule was simple. Once maintenance was signed off, you could start your weekend. The sooner you finished, the sooner you could go. During the exercise, our driver was in a terrible mood. Not sure what caused it. Personal stuff maybe. But his attitude made the whole week more difficult. His driving was so rough that our TC almost broke a rib, and I nearly gave myself a black eye firing the main gun, while the tank bounced over a ditch. By Thursday, the loader and I were more than ready for some time off. But first, maintenance. Cleaning the tank's main cannon requires 3 people. I asked the driver for help, but he refused to speak to me. No problem. I found someone else to lend a hand, and we got it done. After that, the loader and I worked through our task quickly. We even finished the machine guns before lunch and were ready for inspection. Meanwhile, the driver, who had no one to help him with the time-consuming maintenance on the tracks, was stuck working well into the evening. Eventually, he was told to stop for safety reasons and had to finish on Friday morning. That meant he missed a full day of leave. I'd love to say that his attitude improved after that, but it didn't. Thankfully, he transferred out a couple of months later. The rest of us stayed in touch. We are still good friends to this day. As for the driver, I have no idea where he ended up, but let's just say I'm not too curious. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.